Good morning, everyone. This is Commissioner Bell. Today is Tuesday, January 30th, 2024, and we'll call this meeting to order at 8 a.m. As a reminder, our new call-in number is 971-254-3149, conference ID 866-914-607#. Before we get started, I'd like to remind everyone to mute their phones. You can do this by pressing *6. Please unmute yourself when called to speak, again pressing *6. It's very important for all others to remain muted. Thank you. So we'll call this meeting to order. Welcome, everyone, and start off with the Board of Commissioners roll call. Commissioner Scar, are you with us this morning?
Good morning, I'm here.
Good morning. And Commissioner Olson?
Hello, I'm here. Good morning.
Good morning. Okay, we'll jump right in with Adventist Health Tillamook and President Eric Swanson.
Hey, good morning, Commissioner.
Good morning.
We have 14 patients in the hospital today, plus one brand new baby. 8 surgery cases are scheduled today. Our ambulance crews did 2 911 transports yesterday. No transfers, no transports home. 151 patients boarding at emergency departments this morning. That's 41 more than yesterday. There's 480 patients who are ready to be discharged, but there's no place to go. Again, that's 12 more than yesterday. A couple things I want to share with you. Dr. David Bradburn, who's been practicing in Tillamook since 1998, is retiring tomorrow. So on February 1st, from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., we will be having a reception for him at the plaza. So if you want to stop by and thank David Bradburn for his years of service and congratulate him on his retirement, you are welcome to stop by the plaza between 11 and 1 on the 1st, which is on Thursday. The other thing I wanted to just cover is that you've probably all seen it in the news that U.S. Renal Care is no longer going to be providing dialysis services in Tillamook County. U.S. Renal Care rents space from us in the basement, so we're simply their landlord, and they've had to make a very difficult business decision that they can no longer afford to operate a dialysis center here, and that has to do with the high cost of employees and the reimbursement models that they are given. And so they've made that decision. We are very sad about that decision. We didn't make it. We don't operate. We're simply a landlord. And they're working as hard as they can to place those patients at other dialysis centers around that are close by. But we recognize this is a very difficult decision. It's a difficult circumstance. And we're saddened by them leaving, but they'll be ceasing operations at the end of February. However, we are looking at some other options to see if there is another dialysis company that would want to operate a dialysis center here. And we have some conversations coming up tomorrow about that. But at this point, again, we're just sad that this is happening to our patients and to our community. We've had dialysis services, I think, if I remember reading the Headlight Herald article correctly, since 2004 in Tillamook County. So we're sad to see that change. So with that, unless you have questions for me, I will go back on mute.
Thank you, Eric. I appreciate you talking about the closing of U.S. Renal Care, because we've been hearing about it for over the last, I think I got the first email about it on Friday maybe. And of course, you're right. People are really distressed, particularly people who are receiving care there. So I'm heartened to know that you're looking for another dialysis provider who might want to operate in that space. Thank you for that exploration. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Any questions for Eric? If not, we will move on to the Coastal Caucus. I know Senator Weber is with us. Good morning.
I hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can.
I'm hoping for no Martin moments this morning. He has been very active the last few days. Anyway, In a week, we'll be back in Salem. We'll start bright and early next Monday, and looking forward to the challenges that we have. In the past week, I've been meeting with the Oregon Hunger Task Force and the Oregon Food Bank because they have some serious issues going forward. We also have some early childhood issues going forward that are really important. But what we're most concerned with right now is the ability to get some federal money to be able to continue to feed our kids in the summertime. School lunches and food for kids are extremely important, and we're working really hard on that. Something I need to remind you is that we are always looking forward to the earthquake and the aftermath, the tsunami. We have to also start working right now to plan our resiliency efforts because of trees falling and ice. And the other day we had, 4 inches of rain. I think we won the prize for the rainfall for the day. And we have got to continually work on how we are going to survive and thrive under that. Okay, I apologize. Last week, I was also present at the Washington County Legislative Summit, where we concentrated mostly on education funding because they have some serious issues, especially in Washington County. But we have some rural areas in Washington County with Gaston and Banks that also have some issues concerning education that they need support for. So that was really a great meeting. However, I had to go over Highway 6 to get there. And in the rain and with the conditions of the road between milepost 31 and 35, I want you all to be very careful when you travel that highway. I know that they were up there fixing that one spot or working to fix that one spot, because until we have complete the funding to be able to complete that section of the highway, we're probably going to have to be facing these issues on an ongoing basis for years. But what I'm saying is, please be careful. Watch your speed, especially if it's raining. Those areas are very dangerous. Locally, I met with the Marine Mills Board. What a great organization. What they're doing for the people in our community is wonderful, and they deserve kudos and recognition for that. And also our economic development folks. I was at that meeting also, as was Commissioner Bell and Commissioner Olson, and seeing how they are working toward creating additional economic opportunities within our county. It's wonderful. I think that each of us should take the time to learn about this organization and what they are doing for our county and the opportunities that exist within that. On Saturday, there was the funeral for Arella Chadwick. Arella Chadwick is an institution in Tillamook County, and you know she lived to be 104 years young. It was really affirming to have some of her former students, when she was the principal, when they were in the 3rd grade, come all the way from the valley to be there to give her a respectful send-off. It was really interesting also, or nice to see, that we had former commissioners. Senator Johnson was there. It was a good send-off for Arella, and my deepest sympathies to her family, because now they'll go on, but they have a wonderful model to use for their life plan also. because her life was dedicated to service in the service of Tillamook County. So thank you all for what you have, as the Chadwick family, have contributed to our community. I'm continuing to gather funding requests. It's kind of interesting because the governor is putting forth her huge housing bill. Well, as you know, we can't really go on with any of our housing plans until certain areas have the ability to get plumbing, sewer, and water. You know, infrastructure is so important. It's our roads and our sewer and our water and our children, and we've got to make sure that funding exists for those things. And so we're busy gathering all of those, and we are presenting them to either the Capital Constructions Committee or to the Housing Committee. And we're very fortunate in the fact that Representative Gomberg and Senator Anderson from the South are working very hard on that committee. I'm also very concerned about our dialysis center, and I have had several meetings with constituents concerning this, and I'm also meeting with U.S. Renal Care on Wednesday to see what they have done, what they are doing, and what could possibly happen going forward. You know, we have people who are medically compromised, but we have other situations on top of that. We have flood and ice and slides and trees and lack of electricity and things. We need to have protection for our most vulnerable. And this is very disappointing. I know that money takes precedence in a lot of situations in our lives, but with healthcare, it shouldn't. Also this week, I'm going to be meeting on Highway 30 because they have similar but not as severe problems with their highway. And they want to be able to go forward with a plan as hopefully we're going to go forward with Highway 6 to, increase the security of our economic area that we are working on, concerned with. All our groceries come in here on Highway 6. Well, they have similar situations on Highway 30. And so I'll be meeting on that. And also the Habitat Conservation Plan. I'm going to be meeting about wildfire protection because if the HCP goes forward as currently proposed, it may not only just seriously affect our cash flow as a county, but also our fire danger. And we don't want another Tillamook burn. So with that, I think I'll see if Rep. Javity has anything to pick up and that I've forgotten. And I apologize for getting so wordy sometimes. But thank you for this opportunity. I really appreciate it. And with the session starting, I wanted you to know that I have a meeting at 8 o'clock every morning. And so I quite possibly will not be able to be here through this session, but I will try very hard. If I am able to, I will be here. Thank you again for the opportunity.
Thank you, Senator. And I don't think you're too wordy. I'm very grateful for your reports and I really enjoyed them. And I know I'm not alone in that because other people have mentioned it to me. So thank you. And I hope you'll be able to join us during session because it's a short session. I don't, if it were the long session, I would suggest we find a different time, but because it's a short session, I'm not sure. So let's be in touch about that. We might even be able to record report from you and play your report so that you could tell us what was going on in the session at some point when you had time to do it. So let's talk about that.
Thank you. I would really appreciate that because things are going to be happening fast, but they're also going to be controversial. And I think that, you know, we all need to be prepared. We need to know what's going on because, as you know, what happens down there affects our lives exponentially sometimes. And especially with, you know, with the subjects that are going to be most prominent during this session.
I totally agree. It will. We will particularly want to hear from you and hear what's going on in the session, and we'll want to know if there are things that you think people should testify on, or, you know, so I'll let's figure out how to make it work.
Thank you very much. Let's do that.
You're welcome. Do we have Representative Javidi this morning? Give him a moment to unmute if he's there. Well, perhaps not. Then I'll just respond to a couple of things you said, Senator Weber. I am grateful. I'm appreciative that you are working on school lunches for kids. It's so important. You know, hunger and poverty have such a enormous negative impact on children. And as you know, from being a lifelong teacher, you know, a hungry child is a distracted child, and they need fuel for their brains. And it's just so important. And I was horrified, well, maybe 2 weeks ago or so, I read an article about another state, I think it was North Dakota, that was refusing the federal money that's available to feed children. And they just refused it because that governor said he didn't believe in welfare. And I thought, wow, you know, it's one thing to say you don't believe in welfare. It's another thing to refuse federal money to feed children. So I just want you to know that I'm very grateful that you are working hard on that issue.
May I add one thing?
Please.
Okay, it's very costly on our part to access that money. I don't remember exactly what the cost is going to be in manpower because of the paperwork that goes along with all of this. But the state of Oregon decided it was for the greater good. We would not follow the states that are not asking for the money. We would instead put forth the effort to be able to provide this for our children. And I was very happy that we made that decision to go forward with that project. And I think that we will get that money, and I can't help but capitalize on the fact that what we are doing for our children is so important. But we were
Really?
there. We were close to saying, no, we don't want that money because it's too much work. But we didn't do that.
Well, I didn't know that, and I'm pleased that you didn't, because nobody benefits from hungry children. Absolutely no one. So thank you.
No.
Thank you for working on that. Okay, one more call for Representative Javidi. If he's not with us, we will move on to the Tillamook County Community Health Centers.
Good morning, Commissioners, and good morning, Tillamook County. It's Ed with the Health Department here.
Good morning.
Good morning. Well, February is Heart Health Month. Did you know that nearly 1 in 2 U.S. adults have hypertension? So as February begins and we prepare to recognize American Heart Month this February, please give yourself time to focus on your own cardiovascular health. High blood pressure is often called the silent killer. You might not have symptoms, but it's a leading risk factor for heart disease and stroke. Monitoring your own blood pressure at home can help you keep your blood pressure under control. Remember that self-care is heart health care, and practicing self-care can keep our hearts healthy. Being physically active, eating healthier foods, getting enough sleep, not smoking, and finding healthy ways to reduce stress can all help prevent heart disease. So please follow our Facebook page at Tillamook CHC for heart healthy information throughout the month of February. And if you have a concern about your blood pressure or heart, please schedule a visit with your healthcare team. Now, we want to thank you so much to CARE, Inc. and all of their staff for hosting one of the most successful Project Homeless Connect since pre-pandemic out at the fairgrounds last week. There were over 100 folks that came through the resource fair and over 20 organizations tabling that were ready to offer support. We are so proud of the way Tillamook pulls together for all its residents, and we hope these point-in-time counts will help bring in the much-needed funding to help better support our community in the future. And lastly, we wanted to spotlight a couple of our staff. We want to take a moment to acknowledge the hard work done by members of our public health department, and in particular, 2 individuals have been recognized for the impact they have made in Tillamook County. Emery Edwards is an AmeriCorps Vista member, serving a year-long service in Tillamook County, working on anti-poverty public health initiatives. In the short 6 months Emery has been with us, she has made significant impact on the access to care initiatives she has been working on. This not only has been recognized by us, but also by OHSU Knight Cancer Institute with a grant award of $30,000 to address health literacy that Emery co-authored, as well as by the Oregon Health Authority, who recently featured Emery in their statewide newsletter. And that newsletter can be viewed on our Facebook page. And second, Rachel Koljeski was recently nominated for the 2024 Tillamook Area Chamber Community Award for Citizen of the Year. Rachel has shown strong dedication and commitment to removing barriers so that everyone in Tillamook County can access health and life-saving information since her hire in August of 2021. Rachel coordinates our mobile clinic and community outreach events, as well as our harm reduction and syringe services program. Rachel works collaboratively and tirelessly across service organizations, businesses, churches, community groups, and individuals to ensure everyone has the information they need to live happier and healthier lives. In 2023, she supported and coordinated over 75 events in Tillamook County, including nachos and Narcan and school resource fairs. Of these events, over 30 were overdose prevention trainings, and over 750 individuals in the general public have now been trained on how to respond to an overdose. She is a shining light for connecting others to resources, and we are lucky to have her here in Tillamook County and with us at the Health Department. We're so very proud of both Emery and Rachel, and we wanted to honor their accomplishments here. And with that, that is our report there. I'll turn it back over to you, Commissioner.
Thank you, Ed. I will add our congratulations to Emery and Rachel. I don't know Emery, but her work sounds fascinating and important. And we do encounter Rachel in our work, and she's fabulous. She's wonderful, and that recognition is well deserved. So thank you. Do we have any questions for Ed? If not, we'll move on to the Nehalem Bay Health Center and Pharmacy. Good morning, Gail.
Yes, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
We have no updates this morning, and I wish everyone to have a wonderful day. And congratulations to Emery and April. Thank you, Ed, for sharing the information.
Thank you, Gail. We'll move on to Tillamook Family Counseling Center. Frank Hanna Williams, are you with us this morning?
Good morning, Commissioner.
Good morning.
This is Frank Hanna Williams, Director, Tillamook Family Counseling Center, Behavioral Health Services for Tillamook County residents. I don't have much of an update this morning, but I do have a couple things I want to just kind of highlight briefly. We have a new prevention coordinator. Her name is Sarah Ermer, and Sarah will be starting next week. Sarah is relocating here to the Tillamook area from Corvallis, and we had a very nice experience interviewing Sarah, and feel like we have a very good person to head up our prevention efforts. Secondly, I would like to just kind of highlight that Victor Bofill, who's been a staff person here for 32 years, and Victor has his work has been significant, and he has touched the lives of hundreds of persons in the community during that time. And we'd like to be able to say goodbye to him and wish him well in his next adventures. And the community is invited Wednesday, tomorrow, between 3 and 6 p.m. at Pacific Restaurant. So if you'd like to stop by and join us in acknowledging Victor, please do that anytime between 3 and 6 p.m. tomorrow. And that is my report, and I'll take questions if anyone has any.
Thank you, Frank. Do we have any questions for Frank? Well, congratulations to Victor, and thank him for his service to the community, and thank you for inviting us to his farewell gathering.
Very good.
All right, with that, we'll move on to the Sheriff's Office. Sheriff Brown, are you with us this morning?
Good morning, Commissioner Bell. I am with you. I am here.
Good morning.
So I don't have anything to update, but I do just want to comment. I believe I heard Senator Weber speaking about Highway 6, and some of the conditions of it, and just being cautious and driving slow. And if anybody has not driven over Highway 6 within the last few days, I just want to mention, because I've driven over the mountain for personal reasons a couple of times in the last few days. And about milepost 35, where the road is kind of giving way and cracking, and the subsurface is settling tremendously. It seems as if it's actually settled a whole bunch more all of a sudden. They have it marked off with signs and things toned, and everybody's going really slow to get through it. I actually followed a semi that had to slow way, way down to get through it so that they wouldn't get tossed around all over the place. So definitely, and I believe I heard, like I said, Senator Weber say this, go very slow, take your time, be very, very careful. The road is definitely very roughed up, especially on that other side, and especially around milepost 35. Other than that, I can take questions.
Thank you, Sheriff. Do we have any questions for the Sheriff? All right, thank you for being with us. Let's move on to emergency management. Randy Thorpe. Randy, are you with us this morning? Well, if not, I can give a little emergency management update. Yesterday, we had a Tillamook County Communicators meeting that is being convened and hosted by Tillamook PUD. So thank you, my very sincere thanks to Tillamook PUD for bringing this group together and hosting us monthly. We're working on countywide communication plans to Senator Weber's point about resiliency for our community, better to make sure that people are connected who need to be connected. So a bunch of dedicated people throughout the county are meeting to work on this plan. And yesterday I was particularly encouraged. I thought we made great progress. And we're talking about setting up a website where everybody who needs to communicate during an emergency, which would be PUD, roads, the county, of course, schools, maybe the sheriff's office, everybody who needs to communicate in all kinds of emergencies could use a particular website, a particular web page, and upload their information as emergencies are happening. And so that eventually we could train the community to go to one place to get all their information. So that's our goal, and I think it's doable. And we're very lucky that PUD offered to see whether or not they could host that web page. So they're going to research that in the next month. They're also going to research starting some kind of a Facebook page that would be where the county communicators could upload to a Facebook page, because we know that a lot of our people in our community are online and using Facebook. In Tillamook County in particular, Facebook is our primary social media driver. Not very many people are on Twitter. It's not, Facebook is the place that people go to get information, and, which is sometimes problematic because everything we find on Facebook isn't factual. But we're looking for to build social media page where everything would be factual and only the communicators could upload the things that the community needs to know. So we're moving forward. There's terrific work. Everybody's at the table. The North County volunteers, the EVC, the South County volunteers, the police departments, the fire department, the schools, the sheriff's office was there yesterday. The cities are there. So PUD, of course. And so it's a terrific group of dedicated people working on improving communication. And of course, Randy was there because he's the coordinator, but he's just one person. So, one person, especially in the middle of an emergency, can't do everything. So this is an effort for everyone who's involved to take responsibility for a certain piece and get the information out there and get it to places where the public will be able to easily find it. So that work is going spectacularly well. And with that, I will move on to my fellow commissioners and invite them to give their updates. Commissioner Scar, would you like to start?
Sure, I'd be happy to. Good morning, everyone. I'm going to call out something that was already called out, but is very excited, and that is the Homeless Connect event that happened on Wednesday. I did get an email this morning from Jeff Blackford, the new executive director at CARE, talking a little bit more about that event and sharing that, that event, one of the key pieces of that is to support our point in time count. And our point in time count is an important function that CARE provides related to how many people are experiencing houselessness on a given night in January. It's required by HUD to be done every year. So this event is one of the key pieces that supports bringing people who are currently unhoused into one location so that we can do the count. And the count ultimately drives funding that we receive in Tillamook County to help those folks who are experiencing homelessness. So Jeff shared with us that they had over 118 adults at the event and 8 youth, and that those folks were counted. So that's really exciting. They are continuing to count through the remainder of this week, and we'll get a full count. We probably will get that data sometime in, the state will not issue it back out until we don't know when, but we should be able to get at least a local estimate of that by the middle of February, and we'll be sure to share that out with folks as well, so we can begin to wrap our heads around what is the current magnitude of the issue. Now, we do know that not everyone who is currently experiencing houselessness gets counted. We can't find them all, although we work hard at doing so, but it does give us a bit of a sense of the magnitude. So big shout out to CARE and to all of the community partners that helped make that possible. That event was pulled together very quickly, and a lot of people did a lot of hard work to get there. So big shout out for the Houseless Connect event that occurred on Wednesday last week. A couple other things that are coming up that I want to just bring to everyone's attention. We have the Pioneer Museum opening that I believe we talked about last week, which is going to happen this Thursday, which is the 1st of February. That will be from 3 to 6 at the Pioneer Museum. They were closed for the month of January to reorganize and spruce things up and to set up a new exhibit. So I encourage people to pop in there either during the opening this Thursday afternoon or anytime after that. The exhibit will be there for a number of months. So do visit the Pioneer Museum. It has a lot of things that are changing, which is really exciting. I also want to call attention to the Housing Commission meeting that's coming up also on Thursday the 1st. That is from 9 to 11. It's held out at the Port of Tillamook Bay. There's also a link to the online meeting if you want to do that. We, over the last 2 months, have heard proposals from developers who are interested in building housing in Tillamook County. Some of that is affordable, some of that is workforce. And at this meeting in February, the Housing Commission will deliberate on those proposals and will craft their recommendations for the Board of Commissioners as to what they would like to see funded. So we will be, as commissioners, looking forward to the fruits of their labor as that comes forward to us as recommendations, either in March or before April, depending on if it takes them 1 or 2 meetings to complete their deliberations. But please feel free to listen in. You can also go to the webpage for Community Development, the Housing Commission tab, and you can hear the recordings of those meetings and learn a little bit more about each of the projects if that's of interest to you. So I think that's going to be an exciting meeting, and I do invite people to join us. Other things coming up, right after this meeting today, I have my KTIL interview, which is rescheduled because typically I do it on a Monday, but with the ice storm and the damage to the radio towers, I was scheduled for last week and unable to do my radio call. So for those who are interested, I will be talking more about timber dollars and the HCP. I've had the opportunity to visit with our state forester, Kate Skinner, as well as the state forester in Forest Grove, because about 30% of the timber revenue that comes to Tillamook County comes out of Forest Grove. And we have been working with the modeling that came out of the higher level of ODF at the state level related to the Habitat Conservation Plan, and really trying to dig in and understand the impacts of that specifically in Tillamook County. And so having had meetings with both of those district foresters, I think I have a little bit more information that I can share with everyone that goes a little deeper as to what we will expect. The very high points of it are we will expect less revenue even in Tillamook County. So we are among the most fortunate of the counties that per the models in terms of how much revenue we will lose, but we will still lose revenue. So again, I will talk more about that on my interview at KTIL at 9:30. So please feel free to join me for Tillamook Today if that's of interest to you and you'd like to go a little deeper. And then the last thing I want to call out and just let people know is that the budget hearings are coming. We are getting into budget season at the county. We will be distributing forms to our department head soon to get started with their budget. Our treasurer, Sean Blanchard, is the budget officer for Tillamook County and leads that process for us. And we have gotten our dates from her. The budget hearings themselves will take place April 9th, 10th, and 11th. So we look forward to working with our department heads as we move forward toward crafting the county budget for the upcoming year. And with that, Madam Chair, I will turn it back to you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Olson?
Well, good morning, Commissioner. I'll talk about a few things this morning. Am I coming through okay? I know there seemed to be an issue with the computers this morning.
So you are. We can hear you. Yep, loud and clear.
Okay, so I'll continue the conversation on the forestry. Actually, Commissioner Scar is our point person on forestry matters now and doing a great job. Yesterday, there was a virtual listening from the Oregon Department of Forestry, and I think there were about 50 people who appeared and testified, including myself. They've had in-person hearings at both Astoria and Eugene. But essentially what it was looking for public comments with respect to the Habitat Conservation Plan, and I would say that probably 80% of those who testified and were representative of various environmental interests. Yeah, so my message was pretty straightforward. The forest is a resource for all of us, and as in any public policy matter, balance is the key, in my opinion. In other words, the radical side on either, I think nobody wants to chop down every tree we have, including the forest timber companies themselves, nor do we want to take everything out of service and let the forest either burn down or rot to the stumps. So somewhere there's a middle ground, and that was my message, and we'll see how that plays out. But I did also point out that the money that comes out of that forest represents anywhere from 20 or 25% to as much as a third of the county's general fund here in Tillamook County. And also substantial monies go to our special districts. I met with our treasurer's office. I went down and visited a bit about where this money comes from. There are 21 special districts in Tillamook County, and that includes school district, water district, sanitary sewer, fire districts, recreation district, and so on. 16 of those 21 receive money from our forest. So it is a big deal. And so we're on the forefront of trying to maintain some reasonable balance that honors the environmental wishes. And again, I don't think anybody wants dirty water or fewer fish. That's not something any of us would like. But somewhere there's a middle ground, and that's what I was advocating for. But we shall see. This is going to come into place in the next several months. So more to come on that one. Another item we'll be considering tomorrow, the commission, the TLT grants, the transient lodging grants that I think happen annually. And it looks like there's about $400,000 that will go to several organizations here in Tillamook County. And that's enough money to make some real difference in some organizations. So more to come on that, but just to remind people that the room tax money that comes in from our visitors across the county takes in somewhere between $7.5 and $8 million, and it goes right back into our community, and about 400,000 of it will be handed out to various organizations tomorrow. I also attended the Economic Development meeting, as Commissioner Bell reported, or actually Senator Weber, last week. But prior to that, EDC had what they called a pitch contest. And that's not baseball or playing catch. It's where small businesses formulate a business plan together with a lot of details and make a presentation. And that was done across the county in 3 different locations. And then they had the finals here in Tillamook at the PRI building a week or so ago. And sorry, I don't have the names of the winners, but the winner was a group that had developed an organic farming plan in considerable detail, including to how far apart you plant carrots, which, by the way, is 2 inches. I didn't know that. But and they, for their efforts, got a check for $10,000. Not exactly lunch money. It was something that can make a significant difference. The second place got $5,000, and the third place got $2,500 through economic development and a grant, I believe, from the Ford Foundation. So that was a good thing that went on. Next, I'll mention just quickly Tillamook Lightwave. We had our monthly meeting, and we're discussing whether or not we bring in a third party. Some of you may recall that the Port of Tillamook Bay exited that group in December because it was not in alignment with their strategic plan. So we've been working with the college, Tillamook Bay Community College, the 911 district, and also Colpac to see what their interest might be. So more to come on that one. We're moving forward and planning to submit some very comprehensive grant applications because of the federal money that's available through the state of Oregon, and it's upwards of $800 million. So again, it's enough money to make a substantial difference in parts of rural Oregon. And finally, I'll mention 2 bigger projects just in passing with much more information to come, but the County Commission is working on this and has been for some time. One is the problem that's been with us for many years is court space. Currently, our courts, which are operated by the state of Oregon, but Oregon law provides that counties furnish the space. And the space we have is woefully inadequate. There are quite a number of security issues. And so we're looking at some options, and hopefully something will materialize here in the next weeks or months, and we can begin to solve that problem. It really is a serious problem, and certainly not getting any better, particularly when the courts may need to expand with a drug court or a family relations court or something like that. We just simply don't have adequate, safe, workable space here in the courthouse. The other thing that we're looking at long term is the possibility of bringing in a new radio system across the county, and there'll be lots more information coming out on that. But just in quick summary form, the county's radio systems, and that would include the fire service, all our various fire departments, the sheriff's office, the various police agencies, public works, PUD, and others. The system in most cases is 20 plus years old. It's dreadfully out of date. When parts are required, they're either not available or technicians have to go on eBay or somewhere to find parts. And that's just not acceptable when you look across what it is we do. We're expected to respond to all manner of public safety incidents and floods and fires and other issues requiring cops. And we need a radio system. And this is also, there are mountains in Tillamook County, as everyone knows. And so a radio system that can work through that and is state of the art is something we'll be talking about more. So I'll just leave that information with much more to come. And then finally, Commissioner, when you get to the South County, I'm not sure we've got someone who can speak to some of the issues in Nescoin and Pacific City other than what I've been doing for a long time. So I think we have a chamber board meeting this afternoon that I will try to visit and see if we can find somebody who can report on Nescoin and other parts of our goings on in South County, remembering that there are about 6,000 people in South County, so they need to be in the loop as well. So with that, Commissioner, I'll sign off this morning. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Doug. I appreciate it. There were some residents of South County at the Tillamook County Communicators meeting yesterday who might be willing to speak up for South County. I'm not sure. Dave Sears and Katrina, oh shoot, I can't think of her last name. But they're from the South County Emergency Volunteer Corps. They're very active and well informed on emergency preparedness. So there's a couple of names for you.
Thank you. I'll see if I can run them down or some others. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So I'd like to just expand a little bit on what Doug was saying about the pitch contest that went on through EDC, through the Economic Development Council of Tillamook County. They had it was sort of like a Shark Tank, and they had several different I can't think of the word I'm looking for, but the rounds, different events. So people worked their way up in the process, and the event Doug was talking about that he was able to go to was the Grand Slam event, and I do know the top two winners of that, and the first place winner was the Country Squire, which is a fabulous little food truck in Garibaldi. If you, in the pod of food trucks under the Big G on 101, if you haven't been there, there's a lot of great vendors there. But the Country Squire was the #1 winner of the EDC pitch contest. Their food is truly delicious, and their pitch, what they want to develop is farm to fork sort of experience. They want to grow their own food and then cook it and serve it. And so the new business they're developing is called Country Squire Acres, and they have some land. They're going to start farming it. They're gonna grow their own food that you'll be able to buy at their food cart. So congratulations to them. They do a great job now, and it's exciting to see their plans for expansion. And they thanked EDC and also SBDC, which is the Small Business Development Council, and through the college, through Tillamook Bay Community College. Anybody who's interested in learning more about operating a small business is invited to reach out to SBDC. And they have classes and a mentorship program, and the Country Square said they really, really benefited from the classes and training they got from SBDC. The #2 winner was Brittany Bakes, also in Garibaldi. So Garibaldi had a very strong showing for new entrepreneurs, small businesses. And Brittany Bakes is a little bakery on 101 on the south end of town as you come into town in the block just north of the Maritime Museum. On the east side, you could, if you don't know it's there, you could drive right past it. So Brittany Bakes is doing a great job with their little bakery. So congratulations to both of them. And I wanted to, Senator Weber talked a little bit about Orella Chadwick's memorial. And I just wanted to say a few words about Orella also. I was at her memorial, and Senator Weber shared some thoughts in the service, and she did a fabulous job. Thank you to her. And as did former Senator Johnson. She was there to pay her respects, and so was former Commissioner Mark Labhart and his wife Melanie. And so Senator Johnson had some prepared memorial message about Arella, and so did Mark, and so did Senator Weber, and it was really lovely. It was lovely that these folks in our community were able to be there, attend, and honor Arella in that way. And I was thinking about, I didn't know Arella very well, or nearly as well as a lot of folks, but I had wonderful experiences with Arella. And one of the things that came out in her memorial was how she's someone that a lot of people aspired to be like, and she made people want to be better. And I was thinking about the ways that she influenced me when I first moved to Tillamook County in 2005, and thereafter got a job at the Headlight Herald. Arella was somebody I met early on, and she wanted to do a story. I think it was about Farm Bureau, and I don't actually even remember the story that I wrote, the first one. But what I do remember is her, because she was so welcoming. She was so welcoming and so kind. And she had that singular gift of being able to look you in the eye and make you feel completely heard in the moment. And listening to people talk about her at her memorial service, I realized that she always had that. She had that with her students because she was a teacher. She had that with her students, with people who were in her classroom 70 years ago, were talking about the impression that she made on them as little tiny kids that carried with them for the rest of their lives. She was really very gifted with making you feel special while she was talking to you, because you had her complete attention. And she remembered you. She remembered me from one time to the next of visiting with her. She was a fabulous ambassador for Tillamook County, and also for Farm Bureau, and also for the Fairview Grange. And just a wonderful human being. She was a fabulous ambassador for Christ, for her faith. And she just lived her faith and shared that with everyone. So my sincere condolences to Arella's family. I know they're missing her, and I'm very grateful for the impact she made on my life. And I know a lot of other people are as well. So I was very pleased to be there for Arella's memorial. And then also briefly, I just want to say that this past weekend, there was a Pie Day event in North County at the Moeller Grange, in the White Clover Grange in Moeller. They were having a fundraiser for the building, for the Grange. And I wasn't able to go to the event this year because I went to Arella's memorial, but I baked pies for the pie auction. And I heard from folks later that the event was packed and it was happy. It was just lovely. The spirit of it was really nice. And they raised $10,000 and everybody had a great time. And so it's wonderful to see how our community comes together to do stuff like that, and how we make things fun. That was a fundraiser, but it was a lot of fun and everybody got to eat pie. So bravo to those folks, and especially everybody on that board who worked so hard to pull it off. So with that, I think I'll jump to the cities and start with Manzanita. Do we have somebody on for Manzanita? If not, how about Nehalem? Wheeler? How about Rockaway Beach?
Good morning, Tillamook County and Commissioners. Charles McNeely, Mayor of Rockaway Beach here this morning.
Good morning.
Knife River. Good morning. Knife River continues excavation at our Anchor Street parking and park site. We're very excited to see the progress there, and looking forward to it opening up maybe as early as April. Our fire department kicks off in-person CERT training tonight at 6 p.m. They're coordinating this training with Emergency Volunteer Corps of Nehalem Bay, and I deeply appreciate the EVCNB's participation in this. We probably wouldn't get this off the ground without their willingness to help us build this important community asset. And then as across the coast, we put up our no access signs at beach access points, and we just really hope their legislature fixes recreational immunity during this session. And with that, back to you, Commissioner.
Thank you, Mayor. I couldn't agree more about the recreational immunity issue. It's very sad to be closing our trails. So I hope that gets fixed sooner rather than later. Do we have anybody on from the city of Garibaldi? Mayor Findling, are you with us? How about the city of Bay City?
Good morning, Commissioner. This is Mayor Leanne Welch. How are you?
Good morning, Mayor.
So for Bay City is hosting the League of Oregon Cities Small Cities Region 1 meeting this Friday from 11 to 1. There is a lunches provided. And if anybody wants to join us, just register on the League of Oregon Cities website for the Small Cities Region 1 meeting, and we would love to see you there. And that's all I have for Bay City today.
All right, thank you. And congratulations on your appointment to mayor. I think that's just wonderful, and I look forward to the work that you're able to accomplish there.
Thank you.
You're welcome. How about the city of Tillamook? Do we have Nathan George with us this morning?
Good morning. Can you hear me okay, Commissioner?
Good morning, we can.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Yes, I do have several things. Last night we had a work session, excuse me, at the OSU Extension Office of TBCC, Tillamook Bay Community College, on the north side of 3rd Street. And we talked about revenues, basically went over the lack of revenues we have and talked about our budget and where we're going and what we need to look at if the city wants to continue having services and wants to fix all of our infrastructure, or at least work on fixing our infrastructure. So in the police department, Lieutenant Trucks had a nice chat with Tides of Change Director Valerie Bundy. Relationships with our community partners like Tides of Change are priceless to us and better serving those in our community. The Homeless Action Network came together and caught up with each other, as I think we talked a little, or sorry, not we, not I, but the group talked about earlier today, or earlier on the show this morning. Lieutenant Trucks is a homelessness liaison responsible for representing the city of Tillamook. Lieutenant Trucks was happy to report there's good progress being made regarding the response to our homeless community within the county. This coordinated response is just what's been needed. City of Tillamook supervisors and managers had a leadership and supervisory and public information officer training. This training was well presented and accepted by all attendants last week. We had a day of public information training and a day of leadership training. From the police department, Sergeant Hall, Sergeant Harold, Lieutenant Troxel attended. The Tillamook County Emergency Management Groups had a nice meeting in Bay City. Lieutenant Troxel attended the meeting. The city of Tillamook is committed to supporting our residents, visitors, and businesses during emergencies. This week, we honored Code Enforcement Officer Debbie Coleman's retirement, first by City Council, well, last week we honored that. First by City Council adopting a proclamation proclaiming January 31st, which is tomorrow, as Debbie Coleman Day in honor of her last day of employment before retirement. Our second chance was to celebrate Officer Coleman later in the week, at the end of last week, with her family, staff, and friends, and we had a little get-together. So we want to congratulate her on a well-deserved retirement. In the Public Works, the inauguration of our wastewater master plan project marks a significant milestone, commencing day with an anticipated completion in summer of 2025. This vital undertaking is poised to deliver a comprehensive and contemporary analysis of our wastewater system, offering insights into its current state, mapping out a strategic blueprint for future enhancements. As we embark on this journey, the project is set to unravel the intricacies of our infrastructure, paving the way for informed decisions and targeted improvements. The Wastewater Master Plan is not merely a snapshot of our present circumstances, but a forward-looking initiative that will play a pivotal role in shaping a trajectory of our wastewater management, ensuring a sustainable and resilient system for years to come. And the wastewater distribution division took a proactive step in enhancing water capacity by thoroughly cleaning sediment in the Killam Creek intake pond. This meticulous effort is not only ensures the optimization of our water storage, but also addresses potential challenges posed by sediment and debris accumulation. By removing these sediments, the division not only bolsters the overall capacity of the pond, but also contributes to the efficiency and reliability of our water distribution system. This initiative effort it reflects a commitment to maintain the highest standards in our water management, safeguarding the quality and availability of this essential resource for our community. And in the Streets Division, Streets Division is gearing up for a proactive phase of routine maintenance and embodying our commitment to the community's well-being and the city's sustainability. Our dedicated team will be engaged in various tasks, including sweeping streets, using a specialized street sweeper, filling potholes to ensure smooth and safe roadways, and diligently maintaining local parks for the enjoyment of residents. Throughout these endeavors, the safety of our employees and preservation of our equipment remain paramount considerations. We take pride in our hard work, recognizing its crucial role in upholding the aesthetic appeal, functionality, and sustainability of our city. And we ask everyone's cooperation and understanding during these maintenance activities as we contribute to the overall enhancement of our community's quality of life, And just to mention a little bit more leadership training, the department heads and the supervisors also from all the departments were a part of that training last week, both for our public information training and for the leadership training, both the day of each. So it was really great leadership training, and will help us better support and provide services for our community. We have several positions available at City of Tillamook. Please see our website or stop by City Hall for an application. Reminder, if you see something, say something by calling 911 for emergencies or dispatch for non-emergencies. And just a reminder that that's for everything. Sometimes people still try to, talk to an officer, hey, this problem, and that's great. You can definitely talk to an officer, but also need to remember to call in so they can get through the 911 system or through the dispatch system, then we can assist, and other law enforcement agencies and emergency agencies can also properly respond. The next regular council meeting will be held on Monday, May 5th, next Monday. We encourage anyone interested in local government to attend virtually or in person. The agenda is always posted online at City Hall the Thursday before the meeting by close of business. And you can always contact our Deputy City Recorder, Tammy Heinzman, with any questions. That's all I have, Commissioner. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nathan. Do we have any questions for Nathan? Well, if not, I will say thank you to KTIL for broadcasting. Congratulations to KTIL for being back on the air. We missed KTIL while they were out because the tower went down in the ice storm. So bravo, getting it back up. Thank you for everyone who's participating. Thank you for everyone who's listening. This meeting is adjourned at 9:02 a.m. Thanks, everyone.